It's the stunning speed of Chris Bird versus the crunching power of Phil Jackson. Also, KO artist Joseph Kiwanuka's biggest test versus Thomas Tate. The feathers should fly tonight. It's Tuesday night. It is fight night on USA. Tonight from the Palace of Auburn Hills, a big crowd as usual packed around ringside to watch USA's Tuesday night fights, brought to you by Budweiser. Hi everybody, I'm Al Albert along with the champ Sean O'Grady, and welcome to another edition of USA's Tuesday night fights. And tonight we have a double feature and the makings of perhaps the best double feature of the year.
Should be a great night of boxing. Two young local fighters putting their skills up against more experienced advanced pros.
Both fights are 12-rounders. Undefeated heavyweight Chris Bird, after just 13 pro fights, he'll test his crafty skills against big punching former world title contender Phil Jackson with those big numbers, 34 wins, 31 KOs.
Oh yeah, there is Chris Bird relaxing in his dressing room, and that's the way he fights. The quick, sharp punches and elusive movement of Chris Bird has made him untouchable in the ring. He fights with the confidence and composure of a fighter with more than 13 pro fights. With Tim Puller not too long ago. This is a young man who is ready to step up. He will do that if he beats Phil Jackson. Almost 3 times as many fights, won a world championship. He brings his experience and hard punching power to the home state of Chris Bird. Here he is in one of his fights with a lot to prove. He's had a world championship fight. Now he's trying to put himself back into the top of this heavyweight division.
Well, it's the classic matchup, speed versus power. Is Bird ready for Jackson's power? And it's Jackson ready for Bird's speed. And that is one of the fights tonight. The other one, first one up, an intriguing matchup, as you'll be taking a look at Joseph Kiwanuka, the long and lean, almost a Tommy Hearns look-alike, 19 wins. The experience of another former world title challenger in Thomas Tate.
And this fight really on paper looks to be similar to our other fight tonight. Joseph Kiwanuka is untested, but his opponents have been safe to this point. Thomas Tate has a lot of experience, including a world championship fight. That should be also a terrific matchup.
Well, on paper, 2 marvelous matchups outside the Motor City. Yeah. And we will rev up the engines when we return on USA's Tuesday Night Fights. Joseph Kiwanuka, the 23-year-old Ugandan who's fighting out of Detroit and Las Vegas. He has won 19 straight, 14 by knockout. He has broken into the super middleweight top 10 rankings at number 9, a long, lean punching machine.
Yeah, still young and inexperienced. He's learned how to KO safe opponents. Now it's time for a test. Has he learned enough to KO or beat a top-level fighter?
Well, he will face that top-level fighter tonight, former world contender Thomas Tate, who has been on a 1.5-year hiatus. He was once the #1 ranked middleweight in the world, a tough cookie, 10-1 underdog against Julian Jackson for the middleweight crown. He clawed it out before losing in 12. We saw Tate last in a gutsy slugfest against Tyrone Trice. Despite a broken nose in the first, Tate won a 10-round war. And that led to another title shot last May, this time against Roy Jones. Tate caught in the second. The knockout knocked Tate out of boxing for the last 1.5 years, but now he is back. He is rejuvenated, focused. He brings a 29-3 record into the ring with 21 knockouts, and he thinks that that package will be too much for his opponent tonight, the rising star, Joseph Kiwanuka.
He comes straight forward, and he just tries to dictate as the fight go along. And with the speed and with the conditioning aspect of me and the mindset, I think that I can overcome a lot of things. I've seen everything, you know, through that man and what's or not. But it's going to be an intriguing fight with me with the speed and the agility, with the movement. Now I got to add on power. So look for something big, and I'm ready.
Well, he's looking for something big. This is the biggest he's ever been in the ring. This is a super middleweight fight. Tate at 166. Pound heavier than the taller Kiwanuka. But Kiwanuka with that big reach advantage. 82-inch. That's a heavyweight reach for Kiwanuka. Well, the newest boxing organization, the World Boxing Union, is dubbing this as the Super Middleweight World Championship, and these are the rules. Standing 8 count not in effect. 3 knockdown rule not in effect. You cannot be saved by the bell in any round, and the scoring on the 10-point must scoring system. We're ready for the introductions. Into the ring here at the Palace. Here is Wally Jackson.
Live from the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan. Fight Night Incorporated and Budweiser presents Championship Boxing on USA Tuesday Night Fights. Tonight's championship bouts are sanctioned by the World Boxing Union. John Robinson, President. Ed Levine, Chairman. Supervisor at ringside, Robert Ballo, with that beautiful belt. Judges doing the scoring will be from Toronto, Bernie Lormier. Also from Toronto, Harry Davis. And from Shelby Township, Michigan, Dario Chiarini. Our referee is from Clarkston, Michigan, Mr. Dale Graybell. And boxing fans, this is 12 rounds for the WBU Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Introducing first in the red corner, weighed in at 166 pounds. As a professional, he has 29 wins, 3 defeats, 21 wins by way of knockout. From Houston, Texas, here is Thomas Tate. Tate, his opponent in the blue corner, weighed in at 165 pounds. He is undefeated as a professional, 19 wins, 2 draws, 14 wins by way of knockout. From Uganda, fighting out of Las Vegas and Galaxy Boxing Gym, I give you the Warrior, Joseph Kiwanuka.
Gentlemen, you are given your instructions in the dressing room. Give me a good, clean fight. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Come out fighting.
Kiwanuka fought to draw fights. He has since won 19 straight. He has risen into the top 10, number 9 by the IBF, number 16 by the WBC. He's actually ranked number 15 by the WBU, but is getting this championship crack here tonight. And he looks across the ring at a charging Thomas Tate, who could not wait for the opening bell. It has been a year and a half, a little ring rust. We intend to see from Tate, who now has to watch out for that long jab by Kiwanuka, who goes right at Tate. Last time we saw Kiwanuka taken 10 rounds by Greg Wright. Kiwanuka had much more experience than Wright. Kiwanuka was coming off a layoff. He looked rusty in that one.
Greg Wright, who is a survivor, tall, slender fighter. Look how dry Thomas Tate looks, and he really is that dry. But also, see how shiny Kiwanuka looks? Kiwanuka has Vaseline all over his body, and it shines. That's why he looks so glowing.
He's a thinking fighter, usually very cautious early. This is as aggressive as we have seen him this quickly in a fight.
Right.
But he makes few mistakes, tries to wear down his opponent, likes to go to the body. But Kiwanuka, who went 10 in the last fight and did not look as impressive as he has in his budding career, and looks to be making a statement here very early, not allowing Thomas Tate to get going. Tate is wobbled with that left hand by Kiwanuka, and Tate is now holding on.
Already in this first round, so many times these veteran professionals come into the ring without warming up. See how dry he is. When you're dry like that, you're not sharp, you're not focused. And he is getting clocked here in this first round. Kiwanuka, you can see how warmed up he is.
Sharp puncher,
right?
Real slasher.
And started very fast tonight.
Yep.
I asked Thomas Tate about his style. He said, I'm a complete fighter, the whole package. I know when to fight and I know how to fight. But he says, my power is changing, trying to work more on hitting harder. Could be a dangerous thing, especially with a fighter like Kiwanuka. Kiwanuka 14 KOs in his 19 wins. Big power in that right hand.
These two fighters look like they're in two different weight divisions.
Yes.
Kiwanuka just towering over Tate.
Well, Kiwanuka started boxing 17 years old back in Uganda. Started as a light flyweight. This is a fighter out that could fight in every one of the weight divisions.
That's 108 pounds.
Heavyweight, that heavyweight reach, 82 inches for Kiwanuka. So many fighters try to pull away from Kiwanuka, but they find that 82 inches right on the end. Dangerous point.
It's been a year and a half since Thomas Tate fought, and there is a lot of rust here in this first round.
Two and threes on the jab. 2 and 3s on the jab. Do not go straight back. Do not go straight back. Out to the side. Step over and with the hook.
Second round action. First round was all Joseph Kiwanuka in the green trunks, who's looking for his 20th straight victory, looking to continue to climb the ladder in the super middleweight division and take a belt with him on this one, the WBU super middleweight championship, a startup organization. It's been around for a little over a year, and looking for a champion. And they go through their rankings, which, to their credit, they subscribe to independent world boxing rankings system. And right now, Kiwanuka, the first man available in the rankings who will establish himself as a champion, or Thomas Tate, and then start to take on the challengers. New organization, very idealistic in their sense, and trying to do the best for the boxing world. Not happy with what is currently here, and trying to establish themselves in boxing.
Yeah, good to see somebody trying to change the status quo, but it's a tough battle. I've seen a lot of organizations come and go.
Right now, Joseph Kiwanuka looks like a champion in any division, but it is perhaps the toughest division in boxing when you look at the champs. IBF Roy Jones, WBC Nigel Benn, Frank Lyles of the WBA.
Oh yeah, these super middleweight and middleweight fighters have the speed of the lighter weight fighters and the power of those heavyweights. Joseph Kiwanuka, we've talked so much about his reach. 82 inches is a heavyweight reach. Muhammad Ali's was 81 inches. Tim Witherspoon's is 82 inches. Very few fighters that I've seen have more than that. I think Primo Canelo was 84 inches.
Thomas Tate gets in with his first shot, but then takes the left. The left of Kiwanuka has been doing the damage on Tate. Tate, a good counterpuncher, and has a lot of punches to counter off of here so far in the early going.
Good uppercut from Tate, but Tate's just trying to weather the storm early in this fight. He knew that Kiwanuka was going to come out strong at the first part of this fight.
Thomas Tate, after the knockout at the hands of Roy Jones for the IBF crown, out for a year and a half, really knocked out by the shot from Jones. Also had some personal dealings that he took a year and a half to deal with. Kind of lost a little bit of the feeling for the game. Says he is focused and rejuvenated. And now comes back, but certainly rusty in the first couple of rounds. He's taking on a very game Kiwanuka, who comes off for him not one of his impressive showings, and looks to avenge that.
Yeah, something that worries me, Al, about Thomas Tate, he is already talking about getting back to the championship form and to the top of boxing, overlooking.
All right, now you look like you want to be in the fight. Look. Start reacting. Keep your hands up. Right? Go to the left. Start pivoting around the guy. When you make it miss, make it pay. Right? Don't give him nothing. Don't keep backing up. Move side to side. Keep the hands up.
Well, you're not supposed to hit a man in the back, but turning away is Thomas Tate and crack.
Well, it was after the bell.
Yes, it was after the bell, and sometimes in many fights, especially one with so much pressure on your back, you think, I have to throw 3-punch combination. If the bell rings on 2, you're in the motion of throwing that 3rd punch. He is really focused tonight. Joseph Kiwanuka, I've never seen him this aggressive and this forceful. And look how much bigger he looks. Physically, he looks bigger and stronger.
He has never been tested yet.
No.
Especially never against a hard puncher. And has never really risen to the next level. And he is doing that here tonight.
Yeah, yet. But the only way to do that is to actually get in the ring and do that. You have to fight somebody at that upper level before you can advance. Something he's trying to do tonight, try to learn some stuff from Thomas Tate. Of course, he wants to get a win, but Tate, as this fight continues, well, Tate will have his say.
Tate has not shown much yet, but you could just see the intent in Kiwanuka.
Sure, and it's still early. Remember, it's scheduled for 12 rounds. Thomas Tate knows that.
He's gone 12 on 3 occasions. He's fought for a world championship. He's been out for a year and a half. He's just trying to get by and get warmed up, work up a sweat in the first few rounds. He knows Kiwanuka. Matter of fact, Kiwanuka sparred for Tate when Tate was getting ready for the Roy Jones fight last May.
Yeah, he said he knew a lot about Kiwanuka. He said he's a straightforward fighter. He tries to dictate the pace, which is what he's seen through the first 3 rounds. He'll play right into my hands, Thomas Tate said. I've got it. He's been working on defense, combination, and movement.
Tate, who lives in Houston, but born right here in the Motor City. 9-time Michigan Golden Gloves champion, national amateur champ, won 220 amateur fights, fighting out of this state against just 18 defeats. At the age of 20, moved to Houston. The brother of Frank Tate, who is here tonight watching on.
World champion, Frank Tate. Said that Frank taught him persistence and patience.
30 seconds to go in the 3rd. Thomas Tate now starting to settle down.
Starting to open it up a little bit. This is a kid in Thomas Tate who's been around the boxing world his whole life. He and his brother Broke came up together in boxing. Both real students of the game. They love the sport.
Tate now trying to get some angles, gets in with the right. Feeling a little more comfortable.
Sure. And just what he wanted to do, build off the last round is what he wants to do. We'll see what he has for the 4th.
You're bringing your left back. You don't have to bring your left back. Leave it there when you snap. Don't bring it back. Leave it there. Just keep snapping. You don't have to bring your left hand back. Go to the body. Win. Yeah, that's it. But you got to, win.
Yes, yes.
Joe, bring the punches. Throw the body punches. You can't take it in the stomach. You got it. He's weak. His eyes are coming. Okay. Go ahead, Bill Miller.
Use your a little bit more.
Okay. Coming through the middle with him now. Come through the middle. Yeah, but come through the middle. Okay. Come through the middle. Okay. And stiff that left hand. Stiff. Don't just jab. Push the middle. Don't bring it back. Leave it right there and push it. Okay.
Stay down, coach. Stay down, coach. Forward, John. Forward, Joseph.
Joseph Kiwanuka from Uganda said he walked 8 miles to the gym in his homeland. Then after working out, he had to walk 8 miles back to home. In the fields, he was able to pick up some sugar cane until he got home. Came to Las Vegas a couple of years ago, borrowed money to come to the U.S. He went to Vegas because he wanted to look up Cornelius Boza Edwards, fellow countryman, who became a champion.
And a terrific fighter who is now training fighters in Las Vegas.
And Kiwanuka splits his time from Vegas and also in the Galaxy Gym under Jackie Callan. in Detroit. Fourth round action. Thomas Tate starting very cold. Kiwanuka breezing through in the first couple of rounds. Tate looking to turn it in the third in the scheduled 12-round super middleweight WBU title fight, World Boxing Union. The new kid on the block. Kiwanuka, student of the game, watches tapes all the time. Greatest hero, Joe Louis, said from Louis he loved those short punches, the hooks, the uppercuts, the short rights. And they're trying to show Tate a few of those right here.
The Brown Bomber was great at that. The 6-inch punch could knock anybody out.
But Kiwanuka says, you know, he loved Joe Louis, watches all of his tapes, but he also says he comes out to these fight cards and he watches everybody. He says he'll pick something up even from some of these 4-round fights.
Oh, yeah, you know, the great fighters, that's what they do. They go and they don't try to emulate one style. They try to pick the good habits of every fighter out there, and every one of them have some good fights and good habits that you can pick up.
When asked about the comparison to Tommy Hearns, the long and lean with all the great power, he kind of smiles and just says, well, you can't compare me to him yet.
Yeah, he says, I'm still working on it. He says, I must train harder, have more speed. I'm still learning, he says. And he knows it. Picking it up a bit is Thomas Tate. Tate looked at me between rounds as he was sitting on his stool. He looked over at me to kind of give me a wink and a little grin as to say, now the fight starts. In professional boxing, the fight does not start until after 3.
Kiwanuka has been past the 6th round only once in 21 fights. This is scheduled for 12. Tate has been there before. Tate has been hurt and battled back and gone 10, 12 rounds. So he is just getting comfortable. He withstood the assault of Kiwanuka in the first couple of rounds. Well, Thomas Hearns ringside taking a look at perhaps the next Thomas Hearns and Joseph Kiwanuka. Hearns, of course, still an active fighter.
Yeah, good to see him recently with Butler, Earl Butler.
And looking forward to seeing Thomas Hearns again as he goes for his 6th.
Hard to count. We gotta take our shoes off.
That's right.
Take our shoes off to count that.
Round number 5. And Thomas Tate at the end of the 4th doing some scoring on Kiwanuka. And after the bell again, Kiwanuka hitting Tate late. That's been twice so far in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, but the referee, Dale Grable, walked over to the corner of Kiwanuka and he says, one more time. He says, that was the last one on the house. One more time, I'm taking points.
One more time, and I'm taking the mouthpiece out for the rest of the fight.
I'm taking the house.
Kiwanuka is always one punch away from a knockout. Great slashing, speedy shots.
Yeah, you saw that power early in this fight, but now how does the complexion of that power change as this fight goes on? It's a fighter who has most of his knockouts in the first 3 rounds. Can he put people away late? A lot of questions to be answered still about Joseph Kiwanuka.
And in our main event tonight, heavyweights, the speed of Chris Bird, the power of Phil Jackson. That matchup in a 12-round heavyweight bout. Trading now, Thomas Tate appearing more confident, working up the sweat, countering off of Kiwanuka. Always out there to chew up his opponent with a knockout, and that's what he's been doing. 14 KOs in his 19 wins. And this is his first major step up against a former world title challenger in Thomas Tate, who wants to come out and prove that he can challenge for a world title again after being out of the ring for a year and a half. And he says he's been in the gym training during that time. He won his first 22 fights as a pro, 18 of those by knockout. A lot of movement, Likes to work off the jab, set up the right hand. He tries to keep his opponent off balance. Has not been the case so far tonight.
He uses a lot of movement, Tate does, but he doesn't run. He doesn't move with his feet. He moves, he spins on his ball. He moves from the waist up and does a good job of walking around his opponents. This is the experience he picked up in the amateurs. Good work from him.
Got the point, Ralph. That's 3 in a row. Does it on his own.
Tate had been clocked after the bell in 2 rounds so far, so this is the end of round 5. The bell sounds, and this time Tate was ready. And they did extend round number 5, a couple extra seconds, a couple extra blows. And now we move into round number 6. 29-year-old Thomas Tate in the black trunks with a record of 29-3 with 21 knockouts. And Joseph Kiwanuka, the 9th ranked super middleweight by the IBF, in the green trunks, 19-0-2, 14 knockouts. Coming over from Uganda, just trying to get his feet wet early. First 2 professional fights, he fought to a draw. And since that time, he has been perfect with 19 straight wins. And right now, the champ is in the corner of Thomas Tate. He's with Willie Haynes in the corner. Champ?
Willie, is this the kind of fight that you expected?
Yes, very much so.
What's happening right now? I see confidence growing out of Thomas.
Well, he got caught the first round. Now, all he has to do is step around on this guy, hooks and right hand.
He's taken the power. Do you think he has destroyed the confidence of Joseph Kiwanuka?
I think he might have, because he took his best shots and he couldn't get him out of there.
You know, the best part of the half of the fight for you were telling me, was later in the fight. What can we expect the next few rounds?
Thomas is going to start, he should start coming on, start utilizing his foot speed, and really start going on, because he's in great condition.
Willie, you're getting good work over here. Do you like him staying on the inside like this?
Yeah, we need to stay on the inside on this guy. He
Why?
got long arms. We need to try and work the body, slow him down.
He's tasted the power. Does that hurt him?
It wobbled him, you know, but he came back saying, I'm okay, you know how you guys.
Yeah, he even gave me a little nod over there. I've tasted it. I'm okay now. Now the fight starts now.
Yeah, see, all he has to do is see inside, see where he's going. He's doing good inside now.
No danger in there?
No.
Not now.
No, not now.
There you go! Oh. All right, Willie, you got it. Willie's getting a good workout over here.
And Kiwanuka could be in trouble here in the 6th. Sensing it is Thomas Tate, looking for some drama in round number 6. For the first time in his career, Kiwanuka feeling the power, having the knees wobbled. 30 seconds to go in the 6th round. And Willie Haynes feeling very confident in the corner of Tate. Tate coming on right on cue, but now it's Kiwanuka coming back.
You want to rally.
The power of Tate.
You want to rally, but don't rally too much, because what if you can't put out a fighter like Kiwanuka? Also, he is still learning in there. He's still testing, Thomas Tate is. He's testing the waters to see how Kiwanuka responds to these punches. Good combination and a good turn in this fight. Can Kiwanuka come back? Again, at the end of the 6th round, there's the bell. Now watch. 2 more punches, 3 shots from Joseph Kiwanuka.
From behind.
And appealing to the crowd is Thomas Tate. They did take a point away from Kiwanuka for that last round.
Well,
he warned him twice.
Yeah, in 6 rounds, Kiwanuka has hit late now after the bell in 3 of those. So Dale Grable has taken a point away from Joseph Kiwanuka. And Sean, as we have 6 rounds down, enter the 7th in the scheduled 12-rounder. This fight has begun.
Absolutely.
Tate has now snuck up on Joseph Kiwanuka.
12-round fight. So many of these young, inexperienced fighters beat themselves. And the veteran professional fighters know what I'm talking about. They come out and they rally early. They are so strong in those first 3 rounds that they have nothing left. They don't have the steam. That's when they get caught in the later rounds. Just what Thomas Tate was hoping for. It happened to me, and I used it on so many fighters that were coming up trying to use me as a stepping stone.
Thomas Tate going into this fight says nobody's going to make a name for themselves off of me. Didn't look like that in the first 2 rounds.
In the first 3 rounds, but this fight is longer than 2-3 rounds.
You see there around the right eye, though, of Thomas Tate, swelling beginning, that left, that Kiwanuka continues to pump out there.
And you see also a little bit more room this round. Trying to protect, see how high that left hand is in Tate? Trying to protect that eye, to keep that eye from getting hit on anymore.
A little more room, but it also gives Kiwanuka that great range. Kiwanuka could fight inside or outside, has that expansive 82-inch reach, and has just the proper room to catch Tate on the end of it.
Yeah, and you know, that's what Willie Haynes was telling me over there. We're not fighting him on the outside because of that reach. They know how big, how tall Joseph Kiwanuka is.
Well, he's fighting him there right now.
This kid is very difficult to move away from him. Every time you back up, you get tagged.
But you're looking at a Thomas Tate who gave and took against Julian Jackson. You saw him in the Tyrone Trice fight here on USA. That was a couple of years ago. He had his nose broken in the first, complete bloody mess in the fight, but he got into the trenches and he slugged it out, and he won a 10-round decision from Tyrone Trice, a gallant effort by Tate. Not going to back down from anybody.
Yeah, real tough man and a scientific fighter. He understands styles in boxing. He knows how to control the tempo and the pace, things that young fighters don't often understand. Something that hopefully Joseph Kiwanuka is learning in this fight.
We are back at the Palace of Auburn Hills. All of us on Tuesday Night Fights wish you a very happy and festive Thanksgiving week. We have no turkeys to offer you tonight in this double feature. Thomas Tate and Joseph Kiwanuka, this one living up to the billing, and then we have Chris Bird, Phil Jackson, heavyweights coming up later.
That's appropriate. The Birds is fighting on Thanksgiving. I'll be eating plenty of birds over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house.
We'll be going.
Yes. I need enough turkey for the both of us.
Well, you think that was just by chance we have Chris Bird fighting on Thanksgiving week?
I know, Al.
We did our homework.
You did that, yeah.
Come on, Joe, left hand.
Nothing's by accident.
Double.
Nothing's by accident in the ring, too. You can see the focus, the concentration written all over Kiwanuka's face. And really Thomas Tate, but a different focus in those first 3 rounds for Tate. In those first 3 rounds, he was in his boxer mode, survivor mode.
Coming up Christmas, you know, we have Rafael Santa versus Emilio Claus. We work
St. Nick is the referee.
Set at the old St. Nick Arena. Halfway through round number 8, and it has now become a studious fight in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, real skillful. This is what happens when you have 2 fighters who know each other because they've sparred together or they've fought once before. I mean, they understand about their opponent. They understand their styles. Often you see the best fights in boxing between 2 friends. Not letting the other one outdo them.
Well, we're trying to negotiate with some of the Bird brothers to
get in there.
Yeah, get in against one another. That's what they're doing all week long, sparring with one another.
You see better fights in the gym many times than in the ring. But this one's a good one.
Sean,
Thomas Tate in his corner. They're asking for him to double it up and stay inside. Keep inside, they're saying.
of course, during his boxing career, trying to arrange a fight with one of his siblings. Colleen turned it down, but Rosie, I think, was ready to go.
Now, Colleen, I had my worst fight, my worst beating from Colleen.
And I believe we have it on tape.
And Rosie would give me my worst beating today.
Well, it's 15 seconds to go in this one, round number 8. It looked like Kiwanuka was going to give Thomas Tate a beating in the early rounds, but the veteran has come back in the scheduled 12-round fight.
Chess match. Remember I said tempo?
They love their boxing here at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Big crowd as usual on a Tuesday night. Tuesday night fights on USA, round number 9. 12-round WBU, World Boxing Union. The new guy on the block sanctioning this as a super middleweight world title fight. In the green trunks, undefeated, Joseph Kiwanuka. And in the black trunks, Thomas Tate, the veteran, who comes in at 29-3. Kiwanuka 19-0-2. 19 straight wins.
Good combination from Tate. They say don't stand there. They want him moving in. Look at the difference. Remember how aggressive Kiwanuka was early in this fight? He's giving ground here.
You ended the 8th round talking about tempo.
Yes. So important in these long fights like this. You turn it up and you turn it down. And see what Thomas Tate did. He tried to set a trap at the first part of this round. At the last of that 8th round, he slowed Kiwanuka down to a walk. He really slowed that pace down where Kiwanuka wasn't doing anything. Then he comes out at the first part of this round, snap. He tries to change the speed all of a sudden, bring the tempo of the fight up to a race. Now he's back, trying to lower it back down, get Kiwanuka off of him. Look at, now notice who's putting the pressure on. Joseph.
Joseph Kiwanuka working the jab 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but has not been able to load up on the big right hand.
Yeah, we really haven't seen it tonight. Sometimes when you take a fighter and you start trying to change him, it messes up his style. It's a very difficult thing to do, to change a fighter. And once he gets into a different level too, sometimes he changes himself. The pressure's on tonight. He knows it. Oh, good right hand. Stunning. Crunching right hand.
Tate was crunching that first round. Took some heavy shots. Left hooks. Wobbled the knees. It appeared as if a rusty Tate who hadn't fought in a year and a half would not survive round number 1. But here's a Thomas Tate. He was a 10-1 underdog when he fought Julian Jackson for the WBC middleweight crown several years ago, and really challenged Jackson before losing a unanimous 12-round decision. A Thomas Tate had his nose broken in the first round against then world-ranked Tyrone Trice. Got in the trenches, slugged it out to win a 10-round decision.
Yeah, but that shows you what he's all about. There is no quit in Thomas Tate.
Al Albert and the champ at the Palace of Auburn Hills. What is the word tonight?
Bird
is the word. Chris Bird, the former U.S. Olympian, and he takes a major step up tonight against battling Phil Jackson, who comes in with 31 KOs in his 34 wins. Another guy like a Thomas Tate who fought for a world championship. And Chris Bird, just like a Joseph Kiwanuka, embarking in his pro career, ranked in the top 10, although Bird's ranked as a cruiserweight, not a heavy, and now campaigning as a heavy, and taking a first major step up.
Well, you can't advance, and he knows that you can't advance unless you fight better competition.
And for Chris Bird,
tape coming loose on the left hand of Joseph Kiwanuka. If Tate's tape came loose, it would be rather difficult to talk about Tate's tape.
Unless Chua knocked it off. 10th round. Getting back to action. And the two now, this is the first time they are standing not toe-to-toe, head-to-head flailing away inside. This is what Tate wants right now. Not allowing Kiwanuka to extend, although Kiwanuka says he feels very comfortable fighting in the inside. And he looks very comfortable.
Good left hooks. He's reining his punches down on Thomas Tate. What you're taught to do in boxing is punch your opponent down. Punch down with your punches and punch your opponent down to the canvas. When you hit, you're taught to follow through with your punches and then let them drift down to put your opponent down to the mat. Oh, wow, look at this. Both of them nose to nose.
Exchanging for the entire 10th round halfway through. Both fighters with ties to this area. Kiwanuka, who lives in Vegas, also spends a lot of his time in Detroit fighting out of the Galaxy Gym. Thomas Tate lives in Houston but was born and raised in Detroit. First 20 years of his life. And his amateur career out of the Motor City.
Moved to Detroit and then, to Houston, and that's how Thomas got his nickname, Iced Tea. Says that's what I drink during those hot, humid Houston summers.
Get this quick.
And Dale Grable says, I don't want to continue to mess around with this. Get this quick. And Johnny Phillips.
I think Tate is actually pulling that tape off in the inside like that as the punches are flying. Tate's reaching up, grabbing the tape.
Johnny Phillips, Bill Miller, Rafael Garcia in the corner of Joseph Kiwanuka. And there's the exchange. Fighters trading throughout this 10th round.
Yeah, big question about so many fighters that are good punchers against B-level fighters. What happens when they step up in class? Do they still have that power? Can they still dictate the pace and the tempo of a fight?
And this is what Kiwanuka is finding out about himself this evening.
Yeah, this is the kind of fight that you want. You want to be in. You want to know how good you can be or how far you can go in the sport of boxing. This is, for him, testing grounds. Of course, he wants to win, but he wants to know how he can advance.
A lot has changed since round number 1.
Yeah, look at the complexion of the fight there. See how Kiwanuka was advancing. He was pressing the action. He was throwing very hard punches. He was stronger physically, using his weight, using his advantage. And then look at him here.
Well, this is the end of round number 10. Another late hit, a little chop, but enough for Dale Grable, the referee, to take another point away from Kiwanuka. The second point. This is the 4th time in 10 rounds that he has hit after the bell, and he's now lost 2 points over that in what can be viewed as a very close fight, and that may make the difference in the outcome.
Yeah, remember back in the 6th round is when he had the other point taken away from him. They say in his corner that he can't hear the bell. He apparently got hit, and his ear is hurt, and he can't hear the bell when it rings.
What about the other ear?
Well,
was that one? Did you ever
so hard on his right ear?
Did you ever use that one in your corner?
No, I tell you, it does affect. It also affects
maybe it just keeps on hearing things ringing.
No, when you get hit and you get stunned, it hurts both ears. What happens is you get hit on your jaw, and that's your mandible is what goes up and hurts you. It affects your ears.
Well, right now,
don't ask me how it does. Believe me, it does. Let me show you, Al.
Okay, well, maybe somebody will write in a KO comment, so we officially could address.
Yeah, Al, you can't send in KO comments.
That's not allowed. But we may have a view or two.
Oh, good right hand from Tate.
Brother Frank with some words of advice. Frank was sitting somewhere in the stands. Earlier we were trying to locate him. Now he has snuck up to ringside. getting a little closer. He senses that his brother is at the threshold of maybe pulling this one off after being out of the ring for a year and a half. Trying to send Joseph Kiwanuka, the rising star, to his first defeat. Slow, shaky start by Thomas Tate, but the veteran has shaken that off and has come on here. Now moving this fight into virgin territory for Joseph Kiwanuka past the 10th round. The jab going, Thomas Tate.
Yeah.
Very energetic here in the 11th.
He knows these are things that you cannot teach a young fighter. You can't tell Joseph Kiwanuka this is how it's going to be. This is what happens in a long fight. They don't understand. Once they go through it, like Kiwanuka is doing here, then they understand how it changes. The tempo, the complexion, the pace. Tate said he was going to dictate the pace tonight, and I think he's certainly dictating the pace here. Kiwanuka, he looks winded. I know he's in great shape. You don't go to training camp with Johnny Phillips, Bill Miller, Jackie Callan without being in great shape.
We'll go to the 12th and final round.
You're not doing nothing right. You're fighting bad. You gotta go out and fight. I told you, get in there and start fighting. You understand? Don't worry about it.
There's Johnny Phillips. There's Joseph Kiwanuka. Rafael Garcia.
Listen, go out and fight this night. Bring them punches up. You're not doing it. Come on, snap that punch.
In the corner of Thomas Tate, Willie Hayes, Eric Williams.
Ours to win. It's ours to win. Come on. Let's go.
Each fighter has to feel they got to take this 12th round. Thomas Tate knows there's a couple extra points in his back pocket taken away from Joseph Kiwanuka. Fourth time Thomas Tate in the 12th round, the first for Kiwanuka. And Thomas Tate, the 29-year-old against the 23-year-old, taking him into the 12th round, and Tate looks like he has a little more gas left in the tank.
Yeah, experience too. Gas in the tank and illusion. I have got the fight scored very close. I've got it 6-3-2 in actual scores for Kiwanuka. However, Kiwanuka lost the 2 points that you take off would make it 4-3-2 for Kiwanuka. 3 rounds for Tate and 2 even, or actually 4 even with the 2 points.
Going into the final round.
Yes. So it is extremely close.
1 minute gone, 2 to go in the 12th round of this WBU super middleweight title fight. Joseph Kiwanuka, the hard punching, 19-0-2 super middleweight. Also learning that if you get a guy in trouble in the first round, don't let him get away. He had Tate shaken in round number 1. And that's the time to pounce on a Thomas Tate who had not fought in a year and a half, came in to the ring bone dry.
Yeah, this round here shaking that rust off.
Oh, but this time it appears as if in this round now, Tate going backwards, gets in the uppercut. Tate coming on. The crowd responding. Just as if it appeared as if Kiwanuka had shaken up Tate.
Thomas Tate is crafty.
Inside the final minute.
Good scrap. 2 fighters really playing with all of their heart tonight. Giving it everything they have. Will, desire, drive. Oh, big right hand. right here at the end of the fight, too, is where you really want to leave a lasting impression with the judges. You want to show them that you want to win inside the final 30 seconds. Really try to pour it on, and that's just what the veteran Thomas Tate is doing.
Oh, good right by Tate. Final seconds of the fight. No knockdowns in this one. Could not be saved by the bell. But this one will go to the cards. And that is it. 12 rounds, the toughest experience in the young career of Joseph Kiwanuka. He got his test, and now we'll learn whether he remains undefeated, whether he will wear a belt. When we return, the decision, Thomas Tate and Joseph Kiwanuka. 12 rounds, a lot of slugging going on, super middleweights. And we are now waiting for the decision. On the left, the veteran Thomas Tate, who once fought for the, twice fought for the middleweight championship. And after a year and a half off, comes in against a rising star, undefeated Joseph Kiwanuka, who is ranked number 9 by the IBF. Thomas Tate, unranked fighter as he comes back after the inactivity. Slow start for Tate, but then he came on, and he certainly did give Kiwanuka his biggest test to date. 19 straight wins. That's the streak Kiwanuka takes into the ring tonight.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. This is experience against a youthful fighter in Kiwanuka. I'm anxious to find out what the scores were.
And remember, Kiwanuka has had 2 points taken away for late blows in this fight. We have the decision. Here's Wally Jackson.
And now, boxing fans, we go to the scorecards. Dario Chiarini scored at 114-112. Bernie Cormier scored at 117-109. And Harry Davis scored at 114-112 to the winner by unanimous decision and new WBU super middleweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Tate.
And he plays to the Detroit crowd. Thomas Tate turns around what looked to be defeat in the first couple of rounds. And after a year and a half off, the experience carries him through in convincing fashion on the card. 117-109 on one of the cards. And the 2 points taken away from Joseph Kiwanuka.
Cost him this fight. 114-112. Both of the other judges had it. The low blows cost him.
And a hug from Frank goes over to console Kiwanuka, who experiences defeat for the first time. And the first WBU super middleweight champion is Thomas Tate.